Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Den25 show. I'm here with the gang. Kusal is back from his Minecraft rendezvous. So together we are going to be covering some news topics that may have come up in your circle today. So let's start off with Herman Cain. Now, Herman Cain, although we disagree philosophically, at least I do, with him on a lot of things, he's still a human being, and he died, and we're gonna honor his what he's done for the country and his service, as we do with everybody. According to CNN and other AP News and Fox News even, Herman Cain was spotted 10 days before his death at a Trump rally in Tulsa without a mask, surrounded by other people without a mask. Now let's keep in mind, he's supporting a president who has openly said that he himself, and has shown that he does not have the capability of wearing a mask, right? That he willingly chooses ignorance. Now,
he didn't start wearing a mask until like
last week.
Until he had to actually visit the hospitals, he refused to wear a mask.
Yeah.
And here is somebody who openly supported this man, who has now directly died because of coronavirus. Now, of course, we don't know exactly where he got it. It's very possible that he didn't get it at the rally, but he left himself exposed, right? Yeah. And that's the most important aspect of it. And Fox News is out there saying like, oh yeah, the Democrats are blaming Trump's rally. But here's the thing, that's not the point. The point is he left himself exposed. And he is he is seen as a model for all these fucking Karens at 7-Eleven screaming at the people behind the glass like, that they have a fucking right to not wear a mask.
Plus, if he doesn't wear a mask at the Tulsa rally, then he's not going to wear a mask anywhere else.
Exactly.
Another thing that we have to take in consideration, Herman Cain was 74 years old. Now, if you're 20 or something, or in your late teens and stuff like that, or if you're, the right have been like pleading that, if the children won't get as easily, children won't be as affected. The problem isn't that children won't be affected or not, or like you won't be affected in like 20 years or something like that, or I won't be as affected or won't hurt me as much. The problem comes with those around you who are much older or much younger, and the risk that it poses to them. It's like vaccinations. Some people just can't be in contact with this, and they can't take a vaccine, or we don't have a vaccine right now. So what we need to do is limit the exposure they can get to it and make sure that they are safe.
It's statistics actually recently have been showing that an infection rate among young people is actually on the rise, and the infection rate among older people are going down.
Really?
One more thing I want to say about that.
I mean, that's not surprising. A lot of young people are just starting to feel fucking invincible and just not giving a shit.
Oh yeah.
I think there's been a direct misinterpretation of like infection and how it affects people. If you think about it, they're like, it doesn't affect children. Well, children haven't been out. Mm-hmm. Like my parents haven't let me leave the house like maybe twice since the coronavirus thing had happened.
I mean, isn't that exactly why the infection rate's going up though? Because I think most people understand that the infection rate's up because people are going out more, not because
right now,
young people magically became more susceptible to catching the virus.
Yeah, Kusal's right. It depends on who you're talking about. Because if you're looking at young people in like fucking Florida who are in their bikinis out in the sun,
or California,
going, oh my god, or even California, of course they're gonna get fucking COVID. Like you go to the beach, I saw pictures that nobody gave a shit. All right, nobody gave a fucking.
The one fucking video online, all gas.
Oh my god.
I went to a beach. Not that I went to it. What happened was my family decided, okay, what we'll do is we'll drive around and look at colleges. So what we did was we stayed in our car, we drove around the college, and on the way back, my sister's like, hey, why don't we just stop here? So we put on our masks. We didn't touch anything. We stayed away. And as we walked to the beach, no one had a mask on. No one had anything. Like there was some social distancing, but a lot of people just didn't really have masks or like didn't really care about the things that you need to do.
I actually have a really interesting question. And in fact, I want Kusal's opinion on this because I actually don't know where you might stand on this. So philosophically, do you believe that not wearing a mask is something that is almost criminal? Like it's endangering the public?
Well, yeah, it is endangering the public. That's what the majority of like studies show. I mean, I don't know. Like we're talking so much about like, oh my gosh, it's an infringement on rights and like this has never happened. But it's like, yeah, but this is the same shit that happened in World War II. Like were people freaking out over like, oh my gosh, I can't get my sugar. How dare we? God, yeah. Government's trying to make us all vegan with these meat rations. Let the fucking troops starve or whatever.
That's actually a really good analogy because I'm pretty sure I don't know
'Cause
if our
it's
country
like
went into all-out
normally
mode,
if
but-
you're arrested for not wearing a mask when you're sick, it's like, yeah, of course that's kind of like stupid, but like, you know, we are in a unique time, and I think we need to understand that. Even in like the vast, I don't think the founding fathers had a pandemic in mind when they were writing the Constitution. And
Yeah.
even then, I don't see any clause that says the government can't force you to wear a mask.
Like,
yeah.
That's why I hate it when like a lot of conservatives take like the constitutional standpoint, because
y'all
I
were like
just
ready
don't
to throw out the
understand when
Constitution.
people just go by the Constitution word by word, because there were so many changes in society that happened over the years to the point where a lot of that stuff would not even apply to today, especially with the Second Amendment. Like it was saying like, oh, if you have like a militia, then yeah, you can have guns, but a lot of people kind of misinterpret that part.
Are you suggesting that the 3/5 rule doesn't apply to today?
No, but
the best
I'm
part
sorry,
of the
I'm being
Constitution-
unconstitutional.
There's a lot of protesting are using the First Amendment. Bad. They should lose their right to vote. Pick a side. Either you don't give a shit about the Constitution and you don't care about people's rights, or you're 100% for the general welfare. Wear a fucking mask. Like, goddamn. Like, this is the
I
help
don't
of the.
know how serious the preamble is taken when it comes
That
to
is true.
law.
But
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
that's the preamble, yeah. But like, at the same time, it's in the Constitution. Like,
Well, yeah, but like, I don't know how seriously people take it. When
Oh, please. Conservatives will take every single fucking word in the
If it's
entire
right.
document and put it in their entire life. I mean, that's why they're called strict interpretationists. But anyways, that's just to lead up our conversation, wrap it up. Herman Cain, condolences to him and his family.
Yeah.
Anyways, wear a
Yeah.
mask. But yes, I'm going to start a new thing. So hello, people of Den25 House of Congress. We're going to pass a law that says it is mandatory to wear a mask. All those in favor say aye.
all right, so it passed. Great.
The majority has passed.
Okay, are we creating our own country now?
We are.
Yes.
All right. Anyways, moving on.
Wait, we
Biden's
need to.
new
No.
economic
Who's the
plan.
leader? Who's the leader?
Not
Of
Mark.
course, it's Inner G. Come on.
I
He
vote
has
Kusal.
that,
I vote Kusal.
No, I vote G.
These are-
I will accept this nomination, resign, and appoint G as my.
Actually, I think Mark is the puppet leader, while G is the one doing.
Oh.
Like the ringleader.
That's why he always stays silent. It's because
Yeah.
secretly, Jeet has that Fidel Castro beard. So,
Oh, actually, you know what? This might be a good transition into the Biden plan specifically. So let me just,
What? Please.
What?
All right, let's see how you can make this come together.
all right, let's see this.
what have you guys heard about the Biden VP pick so far?
Not much.
Oh my
Nothing.
God.
It's
I think
Recently, not much. All I know is that
getting shorter.
if
Right
it's
now,
Kamala Harris, I swear to God, I'll jump out of my
I know.
fucking window
but
right now.
I think that the top three choices right now are Senator Kamala Harris, Obama's former national security advisor Susan Rice, and Representative Karen Bass. And Karen Bass
swear.
specifically is she's the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, and she's very close with Biden. And people didn't consider her before, but now she's like getting up in the
Please.
rankings right now.
But I'd also like to put that short list, and I saw this from Fox News, which means they were really bashing that short list. Even Stacey Abrams, somebody that we talked about in the last episode, she's also on that short list, which I thought was
There
refreshing.
are 11 women so far being considered, including Elizabeth Warren.
I think
but-
it has to
I
be.
think, but the thing about like Warren and stuff is, but like for instance,
Warren's-
Elizabeth Warren, I don't think it's good because she's more influential in the Senate than she would ever be as like a vice president. I think.
Plus,
Yeah,
if she
yeah.
loses her seat, then a Republican could take that, because
Exactly.
Republicans are
Exactly.
more susceptible to getting wins in special elections, as per se the special election for.
I guess
our-
that makes sense. Older
Yeah.
people vote.
because
more.
there's less turnout. But
Yeah.
anyways, back
Younger
into
people
the
don't even
Castro
vote.
part.
Well, yes, that's
This
what.
is a good question to have for you guys, because Karen Bass apparently openly not praised Castro, but she was like mourning like his loss for the country of Cuba, and you could also say that Obama did that as well. But apparently, she was also doing missions for Cuba for like a kind of like an alliance thing between the United States and Cuba. But a lot of people say that could be bad for election chances, specifically in Florida, which is a swing state, and there's a lot of people who like absolutely
flood
hate the
cast.
Cuban regime. So, what do you guys think of that? Do you guys think that should be a problem, those kinds of ties to like Cuba, because I know like people were being very critical of Bernie Sanders when he was saying like, oh, Cuba may be bad, but they had good health. They gave their citizens good health care, but people still kind of just like
Took that a long way. I think the reason for it is that Trump right now is in a really shitty position with like coronavirus and everything going on. Like, so like if any point that could be given to him, I think that's what their mindset is. That could be like draw it away from the shit he's done bad. Could be an issue that could compromise the election. I think that's the point that people are running with or thinking about.
I'd also like to point out the amount of lies that the Trump campaign can put out and just completely get away with. It has gotten to the point where we have just become desensitized.
Seattle's pledged to defund its police department by 50%, even including a proposal to remove 911 dispatchers from police control.
Joe Biden said he's absolutely on board with defunding the police. Listen closely.
Yes, absolutely.
Hello, you've reached 911. I'm sorry that there is no one here to answer your emergency call, but leave a message and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
Crime will rise significantly. I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Motherfucker, you're the one in office right now. Like,
I saw that.
Or like we can like see too, but there's like a lot of people who will see that and they'll like lose their fucking minds.
I mean, the reality is the people who see that and lose their minds are probably going to vote for him anyways.
Exactly.
That's also true.
I think it's more so like, because I know in elections there are two main strategies you go for. One of them is try to energize your base and get them to turn out, and the other is to like just go for the other people. I think he's just desperately trying to like cling on to his base and like hope that they turn out more.
Because at this point they're the only ones that are going to be left for him.
But like going back to the actual topic is if his vice president has ties to Cuba and Castro, like that's an easy win for Trump. He can literally just go, oh my God, they're fucking socialists. All the moderate Republicans crowd to me now, or you will face this wrath. And
I mean, it's almost like he's already doing that. He's calling.
I mean, he's already doing that.
He's already doing that, but now he actually has backing, right? Now he actually has some tangible stuff he could hold over Biden that can be credible, right?
But in terms of polling, the only place where that kind of background, that kind of history with Castro that would really affect like votes
would be Florida.
Florida, yeah.
I mean,
but Florida being a swing state means it's one of like that 7 states that actually matter. So like.
Now, however, if you take Florida out of the picture, like let's say that
it doesn't really matter. If Florida's out of the picture,
there are other states for Biden to go for. Like I was watching a video about this about strategy too. Apparently, if he gets one of the three swing states, like Ohio, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, he wins the election. And then there's also other swing states that he's already polling high in.
I mean, in my view, the goal isn't just to win the election; it's to like destroy the election so that the Republicans are kind of.
That's also an issue, yeah.
Yeah, you wanna smack him so hard that they don't even think about a candidate like that, like wild again. You know?
Actually, I'm gonna ask Matt this question: do you think him picking somebody like Susan Rice is going to appease the progressives?
It's tough because Susan Rice was Obama's national security advisor, and she played a large part in Obama's foreign policy. And let's just say progressives not like
we did not
Obama's foreign policy drone strikes. But
I mean, at this point, I feel like a lot of the progressives who aren't voting for him aren't going to vote for him. Period.
Yeah, and that's even a small minority.
Like, too. Here's the thing: with a lot of progressives,
Biden is up like 10 points.
Like
so, like even like that kind of discussion at this point for the vice president, like it's almost like it won't even really matter unless the vice president pick has like such a big scandal.
Mm-hmm.
What like, is it? Even something like Castro would not be like that big of a scandal. It has to be something bigger.
Yeah.
She's revived Fidel Castro.
No, but
all of America's greatest opponents are revived. I personally just view Biden more so as a step towards progressivism.
Exactly. That's
like
also
going from like where we are here, because like I went through his unity plan for a bit, and a lot of that stuff like is stuff that progressives have been calling for.
Exactly.
I think I could totally imagine a world in which public option turns into Medicare for all if it's popular enough.
Mm-hmm.
Same here.
And then allow me if I can close off. I was actually looking through his unity plan, right? And actually, especially with his role in climate change, it's pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, by 2035 we achieve a lot of the goals that would be in the
Yo,
Green
what if
New Deal.
Biden in reality is a progressive, but like
Like,
he
just
just
the most
pretended to be
far
a moderate to get through the
You see, the
to get
problem is
through
I appreciate how optimistic you guys are, but the problem is that I want to see it happen myself first.
Oh no, I'm
Yeah.
not saying
We're not like saying like, oh,
I'm
this
not
is
saying
set in
that's going to
stone.
happen.
Like
I'm just saying like any
Yeah.
like even
anything
a
but
return-
Trump is a step
okay,
in the right direction.
Even a return
But-
to Obama is a step in the right direction.
But even
Yeah.
but my mentality is, if you keep that sort of mentality, you just have to make sure that, the fight for injustice doesn't end at Trump leaving office. I mean, who knows if he
I think most people. I don't.
I swear to God.
We talked about this.
But
We talked about this last time, but I think one of the benefits of having his entire unity plan set out is now we can hold him accountable if he doesn't stick to it, right?
I mean,
Now
he
he's
already
said,
had
for
a
sure.
plan.
Yeah,
so-
but now it's like for sure this is his agenda. In like his first 100
It's
days,
incredible.
we can
have
harp
two
on his
people
ass.
running for president, but only one of them actually has a plan.
And it's not the president.
Don't worry, Mike Pence is drawing his up as we speak. I just wanted to mention one thing really quick. I'm actually really proud of how the plan turned out, which is I like he took a lot of the Green New Deal. Fox News is giving a lot of fucking criticism, of course, like they always do. The economy, blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing. I like that he's setting goals, right? Kennedy set goals for space race. Even Reagan set goals for him and tax rates. Now, and the war on drugs, as much as I disagree with that, he set a goal, right? And that's the way that we're going to move forward, is if there's a set goal and a set time. And I like that. I think the problem's going to come with Congress and like actually getting those laws passed, unless he does some sort of executive orders that somehow get through the loopholes.
I mean,
but in the end, though, even if Biden, wins, it really does matter into the Senate races.
Yes, it really does.
Yeah. If we don't win back the Senate, then a lot of the unity plan is not going to pass.
Yeah.
What I do appreciate, though, is how I think with this plan, and of course with, moving back to the Paris Climate Agreement, I think a lot more of the world is going to respect us again.
We won't be the laughing stock for everyone in Europe anymore.
At the UN laughing at Trump.
Yeah, they'll just laugh when he gaffes, but like that's better. At least when he gaffes, he doesn't actually mean it.
At least when he gaffes, he's not like threatening to what's it called?
The thing with the
Attack
gaffes is like,
protesters.
okay, they're a once in a while thing. At least it's not like 24/7 gapping, like every word he says.
Well,
he's in front of the UN panel, and he's standing in front of the UN about to make a speech.
Here's the thing: it's more than gaffes. I don't know if you guys watched his Build Back Better conference, but
I did not.
The guy just seems really slow. He even forgot where he was for a second, and
shit!
It just gets. It's a little worrisome. Like, I know we're paying attention to Trump right now.
All that matters is the VP. Honestly, this too.
That's what I'm saying. But still, I'm worried for the guy. He's literally going to be leading the country. It's a stressful job. So
hey, remember, the executive office is not just him; it's everybody around him. And if he surrounds himself with good people, I have full faith and confidence that he can do well.
So Trump delaying the election.
100%. I don't know if he actually. I think he was just trying to float that idea around, see if he could try getting Republicans on board, and then make that his.
And then he got fucked.
He got absolutely destroyed. Like
Marco Rubio, everybody was jumping.
Everyone was
just
on his ass, like just pounced on his bitch.
Like I have no issue with suppressing the vote, but removing it entirely.
Now that is pretty good. You know what? We can. You know what? Fuck minorities, but don't you dare move when minorities can vote. Like I was actually surprised. I was so surprised at the backlash because I was like, "Ah, shit, here we go again." Fox News and everyone's just gonna piggyback this shit forward. And it's gonna they actually just like shot back, and I was like, "Oh shit."
Maybe this just goes to show how much I'm willing to give the benefit of the doubt. Where I was like, okay, maybe he actually is looking out for the interest. Maybe in his delusional mind, these mail-in ballots are like genuinely gonna affect the election. And then I'm like looking at it like, yeah, no. He's gonna be an officer. He just wants more golden toilet paper in the White House.
I mean, hey, you can sort of see why he is against mail-in ballots. I just saw this poll today. It compares who people are voting for that plan to vote in person versus mail-in, and Trump is leading in-person voters by like 30.
I mean, which makes.
But Biden is leading mail-in ballots by like 60.
Which I
So
mean
you
makes
can see
sense.
why
'Cause
he
in
wants to
general,
go that
one
route.
side is a bit more worried about COVID than the other.
I was about to say that, Kusal. I was about to say
No,
that.
but
I'm
like, here's the thing, Michael. What's it called? Also, who else wants to like spend their day, get up, get ready, just to go to a polling booth and vote?
No,
I-
honestly, I'm just like, holy shit. Wait, if it's just mail-in voting like 24/7, I honestly think we'll see voter turnout go up.
Yeah,
for
the reason
sure.
why
It went up in Kentucky actually. Because
Kentucky?
remember the Senate
Oh, yeah,
race?
yeah,
It
yeah.
actually broke a record for the amount of votes that were cast. It was
Because
like
now instead of like
900,000.
exactly, because instead of having to leave your house and doing all this shit, you just get it at home. You
It's
do it in
literally
5
like
minutes.
spending 5 minutes voting versus like 2 hours, especially
Exactly,
with like
exactly.
our generation.
As somebody who's
Because
worked,
like we're all
yeah.
about speed and everything, so it's like, yeah, no, I don't. I
I'm
Like, I
not
know
spending
normally
an
as
hour.
people
I'm not
get
spending my.
older- Normally, as people get older, they become more active voters. But like, I honestly wouldn't be surprised with like how like obsessed with speed our generation is. That like, we don't do that.
And even so, like for us, for people like us, and even millennials, it's almost like an inconvenience for us to actually go out and vote because we have other things to do.
Exactly.
Well, it's an inconvenience.
We
for
have
everyone.
minimum wage jobs to
Oh,
some of us
just
are working 3
lazy.
jobs
Yeah.
at once. Our
Gotta get
schedules
that-
are filled. We're
Gotta
taking
pay
classes.
that six-figure student loan off.
Oh yeah, we got student loans to pay.
I got an APR rate, guys. I actually, when I worked the polling booths, when I was Pokemon going to the polls, I was talking to the people in line, and I asked them, why are you willing to stay here? Like, why are you willing to stand in line and waste your day? Like, you've been here 4
3
hours ago.
hours.
And the response, the number one response I get from these people is because this is how I've always done it, right?
Mm.
And that's why a lot of people were really mad with the new voting system in California, like or at least in Santa Clarita, like the electronic ballots.
Even though it's more simpler.
It's simpler. It's way simpler, but people get mad because it's not what they're used to, and that's what's wrong with America, right? Is we're so obsessed with tradition, we're so obsessed with culture, with how things used to be. Not to mention in Kentucky, I'm just gonna say this right now. Even though we saw an increase with mail-in ballots, remember that is the state of Republicans, and we all know that party disagrees with science. So of course, these statistics will not be in their favor. Therefore, it will not.
Oh yeah, it's true. But hey, to be fair, that was a Democratic primary.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. So that might be a good thing for a red state like that. More Democrats turning out.
Oh, another thing, with the whole mail-in, Trump was like, "I'm fine with absentee, but fuck universal mail-in ballots." Like, what the hell? Like, what? Like, it's just, or like this actually leads to another point. Is like it's actually the discreditation of the post service or postal office that like right-wing media is trying to do. It's like, oh, the post office isn't secure. How are you doing? But like, you get your paycheck. A lot of people get it through the post office. You get mail. You get delivery. You get like tax returns. You get like death certificates and all that stuff. You get all these important information from the government through the post office. But now, oh no, the post office is unreliable. We can't trust the post office. They have like a 1% or they have like a 3% failure or something like that, where like mistakes happen. We can't have that for our elections. That's like 3 people out of 100.
Yeah.
I'm like, but those 100 million people that didn't vote in the last election, it's fine if they didn't do that. Like, that's completely
at my Amazon Prime graphics card, which came in like a fucking Dorito chip that was folded, 3% my ass. All right.
Okay, but on the topic of the privatization of the post office, what exactly is happening with that? Do you guys have the facts on that? Because I'm not sure what the narrative surrounding that is.
So basically, the argumentation is like this: that the U.S. Postal Service has a legal monopoly over various types of mails. Thus, entrepreneurs are prevented from competing in the postal industry to improve the quality and reduce costs for the benefit of consumers.
Well, here's the thing, right? The Cato Institute, they released like a tax and budget thing where it turns out the USPS is actually losing a lot more money than it would be if it was privatized. That was like one of the main talking points. Is there's just a lot of inefficiency in terms of when you nationalize something like this. And now that we've proven, because how was the U.S. Postal Service formed, right? It was formed way back then in like the 1800s, right? So that people could get mail across to the West, right? That was the whole history, is that sense of consistency. And so the government had to step in. And it also was formed way back when, the early days of the government, when, it was one of the main tenets of the U.S. government was to monitor the postal system. Because it was crucial back then. Writing was crucial. Communication was crucial. But guess what? We live in an age where now communication goes like that. We have Amazon Amazon Prime, companies that are almost undeterred in how they can deliver things. Now it just seems that the USPS is a thing of legacy, and they seem to have a sort of monopoly in terms of different roads and like railroads and the speed at which they can get their things done, rather than the private industry. And so that's where the monopoly kind of comes in.
But then you look at companies like Amazon, and they're almost their own monopolies in other different aspects. And I almost see the U.S. Postal Service as kind of like a more just like a neutral kind of way of getting messages around. Like if you have a private company controlling that shit, then who knows what they can influence, right? I just see it as unreliable, especially in like an age when, you know, technology and the internet, it's just so young, right? So there are certain factors, certain things, certain influences. I'm not here to monger about Russiagate, but you know, it is sort of a dangerous, you know, precedent.
It really is.
Yeah.
You know, denationalizing something that's been in our, you know, our Constitution even for the longest time. Now, to point out devil's advocate, because I'm actually kind of looking into this, because I actually kind of half support this measure, and I'm going to explain why, which is I would want to see other companies that rival Amazon, right? Besides FedEx. And
you forgot UPS.
UPS, right? The other half inbred cousin.
Let's say if we change but also you have to think about it. The post office is also is a lot of how people in like rural areas and like people how like in like small companies get their information or send out mail and stuff like that to help them out. And if we like privatize it, we might be like leaving these people out because companies will be like, hey, making this trek out into this backwater town isn't really worth it because we're not getting as much from it, or we won't get as much from it.
Thing is though, if we privatize some of the postal service, couldn't some companies say engage in price gouging? Because I know, you know, the price to like mail a letter now it's pretty low, I could say, or any like packages, right? So just my concern with that is, you know, could some of these companies, you know, kind of just raise the price of that? Because I know that often.
Well, that's what's happening in Medicare, right? So I'd say you'd have to negotiate with the companies, right? Make sure that there's a cap.
Yeah,
we've done that before. Also, this would be good to point out that Sweden actually in 1993 became the first major European country to repeal its postal monopoly. So that's a country that we've been looking for in terms of healthcare and education. Here they are, you know, they've repealed it. So I think we should research it, you know, we should look into it. Yeah, but we shouldn't like put it in the fucking unity plan. Like,
yeah,
exactly.
Because how exactly does this play a role into like Trump's you know, attempts to kind of roll back with the USPS? Are they related in any way?
Yes, he is discrediting the USPS. Right?
Okay. I know about this one. So
Continue. Jeff.
So basically, what Trump has been doing recently is through Twitter and like commercials and like more right-wing media is trying to basically discredit the USPS as a inefficient, ineffective, and not reliable source of getting your mail and stuff, so that mail-in ballots will not be sent out. So his is strictly for mail-in ballots. He's trying to talk shit about the USPS so that they don't do that, and that those people who instead would mail in from home just don't have the opportunity, or like they don't do it. But he's fine with absentee.
This issue with the privatization of the USPS, I see it as like a non-issue right now, or just an issue that I don't think is as important as other things.
Yeah.
So basically, what I see about this is that he is bringing this up to not only just distract, but also justify his actions in not just delaying the election, but also, you know, possibly doing some sort of thing to help himself, help his election.
Exactly.